This is Laura of Mafka, aka Roganized Rhyme, and in today's video, I want to talk about the Heed and Succeed situation, AI replacing relationships and being abandoned. Now, I went and I viewed Heed and Succeed's live stream, man. It was very sad. I mean, it just shows you the life of what most men go through on a daily basis: pure torment, loneliness, disrespect, hate out of nowhere. And to make it even more worse, this guy got put out of his dad's house. This guy got arrested after he went into a restaurant and caused a commotion a bit. I mean, sadly, I know you have people online talking about how his behavior wasn't correct, regardless of what he was going through. I mean, yes, at the end of the day, Heed Succeed is still a grown man, but you need to understand that this is the effect of being isolated for so long. This is what happens when you're not a man who is wanted in society. You don't have a good romantic life going on. Your whole career path is empty. You have nothing going for yourself, and the family around you just hates you for whatever reason possible they can come up with. And we saw that in the video to how just his father just put him out his house. I mean, you people argue that he and Succeed should have his own place. And again, not necessarily making excuses, but it's like if your mental health gets destroyed, you're going to be pretty much impaired from doing anything in your life, man. And a lot of people don't get this. They think that everyone can just be successful, everyone can just make it in life, and this is some of the most unrealistic thinking ever, dude. Because if that was the case, we wouldn't have homeless people, we wouldn't have people on antidepressant medication 24/7 to where they are just crazy without that even more. And we wouldn't have people that are just so miserable in life, regardless of what they have. And it's even worse when you don't have people in your life to back you up, dude. The whole situation with Heed and Succeed is just sad, man. I really hope that he gets well because a lot of men really have to be careful upon just being alone all the time, dude. I mean, this is why I say, as a guy, you really have to be independent and on your own and able to force yourself to stand on your own financial wise because let's be real, you really can't depend on anyone out here because we can use the Heed and Succeed situation as a lesson as well to where you have to start doing more for yourself, man. And I know it sucks, it's horrible out here. We barely have anything left to live for in this generation, but we really have to come up with a way to make something happen for ourselves if we're going to stay alive by any means necessary. And this is the thing to when you talk to everyday people, they aren't going to understand anything about what it's like to be on your own 24/7, what it's like to be shut out from everyone around you, being hated for no reason, having people look to put judgments upon you just so they can feel better about how crappy their life is, man. And the most brutal part about this is you had people on the that dude's comment section, Seed and Succeed's comment section, right? And they were making fun of this situation, talking about, oh, this good, he deserved what happened to him. Oh, he's a loser. He shouldn't be living with his dad at that age anyway. He's a grown man. But again, these people do not understand that mental stress, being just stunted from developing at a young age to where you don't get to experience the good things of life because a lot of us, like, let's be real, like a lot of men would love to have a good friend group. They would love to have a girlfriend in their lives that they can rely emotionally upon. They would like to have a supportive, caring family. But with the day and era that we live in, those things are obsolete. They are no more. So this is why a lot of dudes are just they're crashing out and they feel like they have nothing else going for them. So this is what happens when you build a society upon shaming men every day, alienating them, telling them that they're the issue, that whether they're masculine or if they're even acting feminine as a guy, they're still the problem. They're useless because they're a male. And this is how sick Western society is, especially a disgusting culture we live in. And Heed and Succeed situation shows that so much, man. And I truly find it sickening and disturbing the fact that you had people on his channel still when this man was having a mental breakdown making fun of him. But it's not shocking because the world that we live in It's full of nothing but snakes, sharks. And this is why I tell you guys, you need to be cool with not being around anyone. You shouldn't want to deal with anyone at all, dude. Because the only thing that's going to come from it is just being disappointed, being made fun of. You know, you're going to probably have your stupid little friends that you've been friends with for years that you still think are loyal to you, talking behind your back, talking about, oh, when is this guy going to get a license? When is he going to get a girlfriend? This guy is such a weirdo. He's a creep. And they sit up there and they judge men who don't have those things without understanding. Maybe he had no one in his life to guide him on how to take care of himself properly, or he was stunted at a young age from all of the mental abuse he had to go in. You know, that's why there's levels and layers to the type of torture we go through every day as a man. So, Heed and Succeed situation, dude, is very sad. I hope that he gets well, and you guys make sure that you're looking out for anything he's doing, man, because guys really have to start being more understanding and supportive of each other, man. And on to my next topic, I wanted to talk about AI replacing relationships, man. Like, if you go in the Google store right now, you will see these apps like AI Companion, Your Special, Bing. I mean, you go into the Google playlist section and it's promoting this type of unnatural state that humans are in, man. Now, is it understandable for men to why they would seek out an AI companion because of how terrible dating is, how just really just soul numbing it can be? It's a very crushing process for a man's mind to grapple with the fact that he's not chosen by anyone. And this is why I say I can't understand why you still have dudes out here downloading Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, any dating app, man, because those dating apps are rigged, man. Like, dude, those things are just made to destroy your self esteem as a man. Because a lot of the times, the only thing, even if you're lucky to get any match, you're going to get matched with someone who's a fake person. You're going to get matched with a bot or an all out just person who's probably trying to exploit you or do something harmful to you physically to get you to meet up with them, man. That's the type of sickening reality that we live in, man. So, dating apps, dude, you have to stay away from that. And it's like I said, I can understand why men would seek out having an AI companion, but overall, it's not a long term good result to be going after because you start to get a little delusioned and you may start to think that this is actually real. I mean, I remember the case of the younger guy a few months back, and I have to do a story on this soon about him literally taking his own self out because he figured out that the AI companion wasn't real, it wasn't a real person, and it's just sad to actually think about this. And what's something else that's going on here, dude? Do you think if that guy was getting girls, that young guy, if he had women coming up to him, making it easy for him, that he would even be seeking out an AI companion now? That whole situation could have been avoided. Especially if we did not live in the type of time that we live in now, to where superficiality with girls is way high, man. The standards are super unrealistic and dating is just impossible. And even when you meet the whole bar of what a woman wants physically, mundane wise, money, you know, as they say, a demeanor, even when you meet all those standards, man, it's still going to fail because nothing can make these girls happy, man. I mean, if they were happy in the beginning with themselves or the family around them, the friends around them, no man can ever make them happy, no matter how attractive he is, dude. And all of the type of good behavior they may display around that guy, them being available, them trying to be understanding to that dude, I mean, that's something that's very temporary. So we have to look at it for what it is. We are dealing with a deep psychological issue in Western society, man, and it's brutal. And that's why partly I say AI companions are not good at all in the long run because it lowers your guard. It makes it to where you aren't being perceptive of the reality around you. And let's say you might have a guy dealing with an AI companion. Okay, all of a sudden, he starts meeting this woman who's being nice to him in the first place. And then he starts to think, oh, maybe I can give this girl a chance because This AI companion that I have, it's gotten boring to me. It's gotten dull to where I don't want to do it anymore. And that's another thing. It dulls your mind. You become easier to manipulate by these girls, man. So you really have to understand that AI companions in the long run, they are not really beneficial to you as a guy. But as I said before, I can understand why it's appealing. But in the long run, man, it's not beneficial because it can cause all types of mental issues for yourself. Because once the realization kicks in that you're not talking to a real person like what that young guy went through that I just described a minute ago, that's when it's gonna hit you, man. Like, what am I even doing this for? Like, why am I even here on this planet? Why have I went through the things that I went through? You're gonna see your life flashing before your eyes, and I'm not saying literally, I should say mentally. Like, your life is gonna be mentally flashing before you. So that's how deep the sense of rejection that can come out from dealing with AI companions, man, because it's gonna be a reminder to you in some way or somehow. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is being abandoned, dude. Like, a lot of men, especially, are abandoned in today's society. They really have no one to go to. And this is the number one thing that you have to remember as a guy. You're always going to be abandoned. You're always going to be disrespected, looked down upon by someone, no matter how good you are, no matter what you have. You're always going to be looked down upon. And even when you have the looks, the good glamour, when you have everything going for you money wise, you've got everyone wanting to come talk to you, be social. You come to find out that these people are only around you for what you can give them. It's never about them giving you anything to satisfy you. It's like you become a person who has to satisfy everyone else. And that is the main problem, I should say, is just with people in general in society, dude, that we all face as human beings, really, is everyone is being abandoned at some point in their life. But this is really the especially case when you look at younger men out here, because a lot of younger men, just men as a whole, right, don't have a support system. They don't have anyone to come hang out with them or call up on check on them and be like, yo, what's up, man? How are you doing? Like, let's go hang out somewhere. Let's go catch up. You don't have anyone calling and checking on these guys and doing that. I was reading one comment and it was so brutal and just sad, and it just shows the reality of what people go through, especially men, right? And this guy said if his mother and father didn't text him, his phone would just be empty, of texts. And I read even more brutal comment to where he said, this guy said the only type of text message he get is when his phone bill is about to like expire, man. It's brutal, dude. So you look at the reality that we're living in nowadays, it's a very separated and oppressive system, man. And we really aren't going to see things get better out here. Things are going to keep getting harder. I mean, you have inflation going up all over the roof. You can barely afford your own house. You can't go out anywhere because you have to worry about someone trying to hurt you, fight you. And if you're really a really loner of a guy, you can't go out anywhere because the first thing people are going to say is when you're eating in a restaurant by yourself. And that's another thing. HeedandSucceed, man, should not have went to that restaurant by himself, dude, because he made himself a prime target, which I will say, man, any man in general, in my opinion, most definitely should not be eating out by himself because you are making yourself a target, not just for people to humiliate you. You're making yourself a target for people who might want to try and steal from you. They might want to try and get you in trouble. They might try to frame you for something because that's the reality of being a man who's alone, a guy who's unattractive, someone who no one wants to be around. People are going to want to try and frame you and set you up, and they want to see you fall even more. That's how disgusting and egotistical these people are out here, dude. So that's why I say you really have to watch how you are moving out here. Because, man, it is not a joke. Like, these streets are cold. They will crush you. Life itself is a destroyed mirror. It will cut you everywhere, man. Once your life is shattered, you're going to feel all the pain from that, dude. So really be careful out here, guys, and take the Heed and Succeed situation as a learning lesson as well. You know, I really hope that he's doing okay and he gets back up on his feet, dude, because it's a lot of men out here that are getting kicked out their parents' house at that older of an age, and they are being oppressed by everyone around them. And this just shows you how just twisted the type of society we live in, man. And we have to stand against this stuff, whether it's with some people by our side or on our own. As long as we are individually living our lives for ourselves, worried about ourselves, not worried about anyone else like that, that's all we have to do at the end of the day. Because survival is always going to matter, dude, as long as you're still breathing. But you guys take care. Like and subscribe if you're new. Tell me what else you guys want me to elaborate on in the comment section. I highly appreciate it. My freaking sinus is still bothering, man. This has been a terrible, messed up year, dude. It's like it just keeps getting worse, man. But you guys take care. And like I always tell you guys, stay away from the modern woman. Thank you.